Hey, welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel. This is perfect for this channel right here. We are here to expose the left versus right paradigm lie dog and pony show under the Washington's District of Criminals, the WWE style Washington's District of Criminals big top. And you cannot over exaggerate. I don't even think it's possible to overstate how significant this political / media spectacle was when you're talking about the interaction between Donald Trump and former President Barack Obama. I just want to remind you before we play this clip right here of Donald Trump and Barack Obama interacting that this is all a stage show. Why did Barack Obama choose to sit next to Donald J. Trump? After all the things that he said about Donald Trump and that Donald Trump said about him, and they fake like they hate each other when they're actually playing for the same team, the DNC corporate team or the RNC corporate team. It's a huge corporate team. It's a massive corporate club, and you and I aren't in it, but they are. So they know the cameras are going to be on them. They know what the seating arrangements are going to be. If they truly hated each other, I don't care if Sally from marketing made the seating arrangements. You're the ex-president of the United States. You can sit anywhere you want. You walk into that building, you can go sit in the back if you want to. Who's going to say anything? Oh, sorry, you need to be in the front seat. You need to sit by Donald Trump. Donald Trump, you need to sit by Barack Obama. Nobody's bringing this out in corporate media. Instead, they're talking about how, hey, isn't this great? We can put aside our differences when one head of the state, as they're sitting in a church, separation of church and state. I don't think so. It's a mixture. As a matter of fact, the state and the priests of the state are part of the most massive religious organization that requires your belief to keep it going. So we're going to watch some of this, and then we're going to segue and go back to some of the things that Obama said about Donald Trump. We already know what Donald Trump said about Barack Obama. They claim to hate each other. Barack Obama and everybody on the left wanted Donald Trump in jail, but now all of a sudden they're going to share some laughter and some good times and a great conversation. They know that there are lip reading experts who could tell you exactly what was being said. So they're monitoring their language. They're monitoring their speech. They are well aware that media and news organizations around the world are going to pick up this imagery. So they're crossing their T's and they're dotting their I's, but they are not the ones who are in control of this entire dog and pony show. So the people the powers that shouldn't be, who control the presidents, who control policy, the central banking cartel, the corporate oligarchs who actually control these little tiny specks called political puppets, presidents, prime ministers, all of them. They're the ones that write the script. They're the ones that make the seating arrangement. That's why Obama was sitting next to Donald Trump. So we could all be talking about this today. At least the mainstream media can be talking about this today and slanting it the way that they want to slant it. See, we can put down our political divisions when there's something serious involved. When Jimmy Carter dies as president, we can all put down our differences and just sing Kumbaya together. Listen to some of this.
There's a moment right there. Barack Obama sitting next to President Trump, suffice it to say, something you just don't see.
It is not a common occurrence, that
so
is
much
for
history.
sure, Barack Obama.
Now watch Bush. Completely walks right past Donald Trump, doesn't pay attention to it. Don't you think this is part of the script too?
Campaigning for the Vice President Kamala Harris. Obviously she did not prevail, and now sitting next to Donald Trump, exchanging a smile. Former President George W. Bush, former First Lady Laura Bush, shaking the hands, and this...
Look at Donald Trump and Barack Obama here.
As Jimmy Carter probably would have liked, is somewhat cathartic for a country that the vast majority of people truly hunger for some sort of...
Can you get more of a warmonger than a Bush? And Donald Trump was a warmonger in his own right. And yet the MAGA crowd will say, no, under Donald Trump, he didn't start any new wars, but he did increase the budget of the military industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us against more than Bush did, more than Obama did. Did it in 4 years. And he dropped how many bombs? 46 every single day of his presidency to the 39 every single day of the Obama presidency.
Connection and way forward to try to erase some of these dividing lines. The Bushes, Barack Obama, Donald and Melania Trump. Here we see former President Bill Clinton, former
Hillary Clinton, who Donald Trump said should be in prison. How are you going to hobnob with these people that you believe decimated the American people? How are you going to claim to be a champion and a representative of a country when you're hanging out with the worst of them? The worst of the people who've done the worst damage, or at least the figureheads who've done the worst damage for the corporate and the central banking elite.
First Lady Hillary Clinton, former Secretary of State, obviously. On the far left in that back row, Dan Quayle shaking the hand of Bill Clinton a moment ago. Al Gore, who was obviously Bill Clinton's vice president. So many mini chapters of history, if you will. Obviously, Hillary Clinton having run against Donald Trump in 2016, losing that election in the Electoral College in a very close election, winning the popular vote.
Look at Clinton right there. Just, I mean, like, what do you think? What goes through your mind when you see the Clintons and you think of all the chaos and the corruption that came out of Mena, Arkansas under these people, and the mass disappearance of so many people who had connections with these people?
Returning here with her husband, sitting next to George W. Bush, where she has been seated many times before.
How many soldiers have been deployed under George W. and his father, George H.W.? How many people have died? How many foreign countries have been decimated? How many children's lives were lost? Remember, under Clinton, he had the Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, who was asked by Leslie Stahl, we have heard that 500 children have died. I mean, was it worth it? And she said, well, this was a hard decision, but we think it was worth eliminating 500,000 children using taxpayer dollars to do it. Just, I mean, can you think of anything more over the top, dark, and sinister?
And wouldn't it be fascinating to be able to hear the conversation right now, Terry Moran, between Barack Obama and Donald Trump?
It sure would. I mean, you're looking at generations of presidential history, but that in particular, Donald Trump there and Barack Obama, two men who have fought as fiercely.
So we got them, two men who have fought fiercely against each other. Yeah, let's take a look at some of that fierce fighting. Watch this.
I really want to elect Hillary Clinton.
Dubbed Hillary Clinton's surrogate-in-chief, President Obama blasting Donald Trump's qualifications to replace him.
One candidate who's traveled to more countries than any Secretary of State ever has, and the other who isn't fit in any way, shape, or form to represent this country abroad and be its commander-in-chief.
Not fit in any way, shape, or form? But wait, there's more.
The other day I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day.
Just a complete nuisance.
Now, from a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous. The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends.
Wow.
The other day I heard someone compare Trump.
You gonna sit next to somebody like that who just wants to accumulate power for himself? Is that who you're gonna sit next to and yuck it up with? Would you actually do that? How could you do that? I don't care what you think anybody else would think if you didn't sit by him. This assigned seating garbage just really pops the lid off of this dog and pony show. Yeah, Barack, you got to sit by him. Yeah, Donald, you got to sit by him. The whole world's watching. The cameras are going to be on it. We're going to be speculating what you guys said. Just go ahead and make it look like you guys are friends. This is a psychological operation par excellence, because on the one hand, they will try to convince you that they are bitter enemies. They have nothing to do with each other. Each of them wants the other one to be in jail. But when it gets down to it, they want you to also see, it's just a show. Come on. It's just political jargon. I'm taking this lane because it's politically expedient to me. It's going to benefit me massively because I get to appeal to my base. I get to draw dividing lines in America while we say, hey, we're the change we can believe in, or we're going to make America great again. It's such a psyop on a deep, deep level.
And as personally, as vituperatively as any people in American history, any presidents in American history, they're chatting away. And it occurs to me that it could be this re-election of Donald Trump, who will pursue an agenda that Barack Obama will no doubt totally oppose. But this re-election...
A lot of people are speculating, oh, this is Obama sucking up to Trump because he knows the Trump administration could utilize the Justice Department and weaponize it against the likes of Barack Obama and George W. Bush and Hillary Clinton. So I better play nicey. Do you really think that's what it is? Here's another one from Obama. Check this out.
Wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided.
Donald Trump.
Between us and them. Between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't. And he wants you to think that you'll be richer and safer if you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place. It is one of the oldest tricks in politics.
Name one politician. Name one single sold-out political parasite who doesn't engage in one of the oldest tricks in the books. Obama did. George W. did. Carter did, Ford did, Lincoln did. I mean, go back as far as you want to. Reagan did. It's not a political trick that's written by the politicians. It's written by the scriptwriters who own and control the issuance and the value of the currency. But nobody wants to talk about that. CNN, MSLSD won't talk about it.
One candidate's family foundation has saved countless lives around the world. The other candidate's foundation took money other people gave to his charity and then bought a 6-foot-tall painting of himself.
Obama
We have a bad economy.
By so many measures, America's stronger and more prosperous than when we started out on this journey together.
Obama's case.
Their nominee is out there praising a guy, saying he's a strong leader because he invades smaller countries, jails his opponents, controls the press, and drives his economy into a long recession.
In other words, Donald Trump, my opponent, praises tyrants. How can you tolerate a guy who praises tyrants?
Settles things in the country a bit. It's almost as if Trump felt, with not winning the popular vote in 2016, that he would, in some ways, not have been legitimate, or was refused legitimacy by many people in the United States. Now, there's no doubt he's the major politician of this era, and maybe there's more to talk about, more to share. And they're just two politicians who are able to get along with people they despise.
They're just two politicians. That's all it is. They're the ones who call the shots. They're the ones who are in control. They're not dangling from the banker's strings. Not at all.
From a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos.
Barack Obama considers Donald Trump a blusterer, a bumbler, and a causer of chaos. Are you going to sit next to somebody like that that's going to do that or be that and do that to your fellow Americans? Really? This is as much a humiliation ritual that the powers that shouldn't be want the politicians to be involved in as it is a psychological operation against the rest of us, while at the one hand they want us to believe that these politicians hate each other and they're at each other's throat, but at the other time they also want you to see that, hey, this is a Barnum Bailey circus. We are actually just in the middle of an act, and this is a break in the act. We're going to go back to the action soon, but we want all of you people in the stands who are eating your popcorn and drinking your soft drinks to know that, hey, all of this is illusory, but it doesn't matter that you know it because we are still in control. So yeah, this imagery is very powerful, and it cannot be overstated just how powerful it is. They want you to know that not only have they psyoped you, they want you to know that you're being psyoped. They want you to know that it is part of a show, and they want you to know that they are in total control. If you disagree, leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you haven't already, binge watch some of my videos. I'm sure there are a lot of them that you haven't seen yet, including this one right here that you really must see, called Easily Control a Crowd of Normal People. See what the guy back in 1895, Gustave Le Bon, a psychologist, said about how easy it is to control the crowd and how easy it is for an individual to lose their own self within a crowd. I will see you in the next video.